I'm really honored to be here, and I want to share my story and my thoughts to you. I'm not really giving any lecture today because we have only 17 minutes, but I've been thinking about what is design and what we can be a good designer, how we can be a good designer. I've been living a short life. As of today, I'm 28 years old. I forgot how many years I've been 28. I don't really care because I'll be 28 until I die. So this is my story. One slide here. I went to schools in Korea and UK, in Ohio, and also I have worked in the GM Daewoo Korea and the Kia Motors, and I became a design executive at Fursys, which is a really big and good furniture maker in Korea. And then when I became a design executive, that was great to say, hey, you did wrong and you did bad. I am was good. I got really good paycheck too. But it's not about getting a good paycheck or good job security. It's about designing, because I've been a designer for entire my life. And then so I packed my bag. I quit my company. I came back to Ohio State University as a student. That was kind of a shock to my friends. So there, I realized that if you want to study, then you should study when you're younger. So I studied like about a year, but I had my MFA, all those kind of degrees before when I was in Korea and London, so I was okay. So I didn't really continue, but then I found a job at DEKA Research as a design director, so I began working there. And then in 2003, I moved to University of Cincinnati as a professor, and now I'm a school director. And as of last year, I applied and got the position as vice president of IDSA, which is a leading industrial design society in the world. And if you remember that America came to Korea after the Korean War to teach design, what design is. And we were like totally unknown about design, but now we are actually doing great in terms of design business and design area. I want to become a very important role within American design society. So that was the reason why I applied for it, and I got it. So you saw my portfolio in 20 seconds. Great. But it took much longer than 20 seconds. And so I was really happy, and I feel like I am so blessed so that I was able to design so many things that you can recognize if you go to Korea. The first thing that you'll meet at Incheon Airport is my design of the chair in the terminal. If you go to the street, then you'll see my cars and buses and trucks that I designed when I was younger. And when you go to kind of companies and offices, then you can see the furniture that I designed. So now, you don't really need this wheelchair, but this wheelchair can climb up and down staircase. Amazing technology. I didn't invent the technology, but I was the design director for this project. So I was good. I am still good. One thing I learned is that it's not about automobiles that I design. It's not about furniture that I made. Also, it's not about designing. It's not about design thinking. People are crazy about design thinking in those days. I don't care about it because it is not about design thinking either. It's about human. It's not about the user. It's not about customer. It's not about buyer. It's about human. So that was one lesson I learned throughout my career. I'm still, thinking about it. Second thing that I learned about is, interesting. Design is making something different. Design is about making changes. But the design is also changing itself. So when I went to school a long time ago, just yesterday. But now I'm teaching design here. I'll be teaching design, or I'll be doing design in the future. You'll be designing in the future too. But then design is kind of interesting animal or creature that changes its kind of form. It's kind of transformer in a way. So I'm going to actually show you how I see design being an evolving or growing creature throughout years. So this is chapter 1 of design from my perspective. It was about making beautiful things. The chair is beautiful, okay, still a very famous chair. And why we are designing? We are designing for industry. If you work for Samsung, then you are a Samsung designer, okay? So Samsung takes your design, they make Samsung product, and people are using Samsung product. Great. So what do you need to do as a designer? You do design. You draw, make, visualize your concept, so you do it. And then in school, then you learn how to draw and how to make. Why do you do this? Because you want to make beautiful and useful product, okay? But design today is different. It's like making new experiences. That Apple mouse is kind of funny. It doesn't have any buttons or wheels, but you can scroll your fingers across it, and it does all kinds of things for you. So it is called the Magic Mouse. It's about new experiences. So when new smartphones came out, people swipe their fingers on the screen to show, this is my next page. You don't have to press any button, but people were began be able to doing it. If I show off with my smartphone to my friends, hey, did you see that? Then people will then laugh at me, hey, I know that. It's kind of old experiences. So designers are now trying to make another new ones every day, okay? So that is about experiences. Why do you do this? Well, market used to be a good market, but now in the market there are so many smartphones and so many automobiles. So you have to actually do something totally different to do something different in the market. So designers were in the past just draw and make. Now they have to think about it. They have to think about the experiences so that they can make something even different. Why do you do this? Because you have to make something that's usable and enjoyable even. And then in the school, then we teach them how to draw and how to make and how to research so that they can find a different way to make something different. Well, design for tomorrow is not only about things, it's not only about experiences, because we all remember your first kiss. But do you remember your second kiss? You don't, because experiences are great at the beginning, but if you do it over and over, why? Really important thing is the value that you cannot give up, okay? If you think this is really valuable thing, you don't want to give it up. Why do you cry when your little puppy is dead? Because valuable thing in there. It's not just about a little animal there. So, okay, it's not just about industry, or it's not just about the market. It's about making your world a little better place for the future. Okay, that's what we are doing. So you don't have to be a designer. By the way, how many of you are kind of designers? Raise your hand, please. Okay. Well, whether you are designers or not, we are designing. Okay. If you become a mayor of Boston, you are designing Boston much better place to live. Okay. That's why you need to run for the mayor. So in a way, we are designing. Okay. If you really don't still think that you are designing anything, you can contribute to make better designs, because we want to make better world for us and for our children and children's. Drawing important, still doing important, and thinking important, but good idea cannot really go anywhere. So we have to really make connections. In Korea, there's one good saying, 구슬이 서말이어도 꿰어야 보배다. Until you connect all the beads, it can't be your nice necklace. So how can you connect? You may make a beautiful bead, but bead itself alone cannot really go anywhere until you put some strings in it. We have some marshmallows and spaghetti. Until you connect them, it cannot really go, make something beautiful or tall. So how can you really connect? Well, we had a really nice good speech this morning that our bilingual capacity is an amazing thing. If you can speak 2 more languages, that's even better. It's all about communicating. It's not about language itself. It's about communicating. I found interesting. I speak English, a little broken English. If I am talking to engineers, I can talk in English or Korean. But the problem is I'm not an engineer. He's not a designer. So you can't communicate. If you cannot communicate, your idea cannot really go anywhere. So communicating is the key. So in the school, I'm trying to teach drawing, making, thinking, and communicating. Why do you have to do this? Because at the end of the world, you want to make a thing or system or the city beautiful, useful, usable, enjoyable, meaningful, and valuable. If your city is beautiful but not meaningful to you, then you don't want to live there, okay? So this is my 3 chapters of design. If you are thinking that past, today, and tomorrow, or whatever, I'm not forgetting chapter 1. Still, that is a part of your book called design. So if you want to become a designer in the future, successful, I'm not really saying that you got to be a director or VP of design. if you really want to enjoy your design, more importantly, if you want to see people enjoying your design, when I designed my Kia Cephia, when I saw people driving the car and singing and doing whatever they want, that's my joy. That's my reward as a designer. It's not just about my paycheck. So how can you be a designer that fits really nicely into the chapter 3 of design? That's my actually main talk today. By the way, that pill bottle is different. That was designed by a student in, I forgot the university. She saw her grandmother taking pills that doesn't belong to her because all the pill boxes look the same. It's not easy to figure out which one is mine and which one is not mine. It's also not easy to figure out which medicine is for that or not. So she designed something that's really easy to read. And also these colorings, if I have yellow, then my wife will have green. So as long as you know that your color is yours, then you don't really take your wife's one that you don't need to take. So that design is not just beautiful design. By the way, Target adopted that design. Right next year, they increased the sales of medicine 25% just by the design of it. It's not just about business too. So many people save their lives only because of this little simple design. So design can save people's life. I've been teaching design for many years, like over 30 years. You do the math. Design is like an elephant, okay? If you want to describe what elephant is, if you are a blind person, you cannot really see the elephant. You got to go to and touch it, or as in an old story in Asia. So if you touch the tail of it, you will say elephant is like a snake, and so on and so forth. So I want to describe design in 3 ways, because depending on how you understand what design is, your approach will be very different. So first one is like this. Design is logic. If your design is not logical, if this hammer is designed in a way that you cannot really do anything, then it's not a hammer. So design is logic, okay? Make it work. Second one is design is magic. If you cannot give anything wow to the people, it's kind of really boring design. We don't really want boring design, okay? So design has to give something like a nice surprise to it. That was one of my study models that I designed for the wheelchair that I showed before. Design is also music. If you ever experienced when you listen to music then you didn't know but you were crying, or when you hear the music, Gangnam Style. Actually, I was in Mexico and Germany and China in 3 weeks, just past 3 weeks. And everywhere, every place I went to, they play the music and they dance to Gangnam Style. That was an amazing thing. People do not know what Gangnam Style, means, but they really enjoyed it. Interesting to me, I'm not a musician, but all the music in the world are made, with do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do. That's it, okay? Well, this morning we had awesome samulori, just hitting the books. I mean, those, things. But we enjoy that. Some music can move our body. Some music can move our emotion. Some music you can't forget. Why we still remember, after so many hundreds of years, we still remember Amadeus Mozart and Beethoven. Why do we do that? That's an interesting thing. I really wish if my design is unforgettable, if my design can survive hundreds of years, so people can still remember my design, that would be wonderful. Not because it is a good design, but because people can't forget it, because of the value of it. So to me, design is like 3 phases, has 3 phases, logic and magic and music. If your design can do both, all of them, that would be great. If this is the definitions of design, what is the definition of a designer? So going back to the story again, I think that designers oblige people, okay? I don't really know what I'm designing. In fact, when you describe a design process, when you're at the beginning of design process, at the end you will have something done, but here you don't have anything. So often we call it that you are at a fuzzy front end. You are at the front end, but it's kind of totally fuzzy, so you don't really see the design yet. So we are, in a sense, we are all blind, person. So I'm going to give you what makes designers. Okay, I'm also giving you in 3 formats here. There is a designer. You don't have to be a man. It doesn't have to be a man, but there's a designer. So to make it easier for you to understand, I'm going to show you anatomy of designer in according to the function of it. The first function is conceptor. If you look at this word in a typical dictionary, you cannot find it. So I designed the word conceptor. I found later that some dictionaries have this word in it, conceptor. I thought designers should come up with different vision or different concept. But if you are the only person who has the idea, it is not a concept. Until you share with other people, it's just your idea and forget about it. You should be able to think about it. You should be able to share it so that people can follow your idea or you can listen to them too. Conceptor. Second thing is conductor. You should be able to design really well. Or if you have a team of people, you should conduct a team to make a nice harmony or nice music. That's what conductor is. And the connector, as I mentioned, in chapter 3 of design, you should be able to go and test out what it is. Well, bibimbap is awesome. Bibimbap is really popular Korean food. But if you introduce bibimbap to different people in the world, suddenly there might be some different energy or synergy or chance for business may come up. So I think that connector, is like you have an idea, you bring idea to somewhere else, you bring idea back, so you can actually bring more value from your design. So if this is a design, designer's anatomy, how about this? I watched the movie Shrek so many times because my son sitting in the audience here, he was a baby. So I had to watch animation so many times. So I watched the Shrek maybe 14 or 15 times. So I remember all the things, except one thing that I couldn't understand. When the ogre and the donkey were going for the quest to rescue the Princess Fiona, and donkey be so annoying animal, and ogre didn't like it. And then donkey will keep asking ogre something about, ogre didn't want to answer. But ogre said, you know what? Ogres like onions. Then donkey said, oh, stinky. No, not that one. You know, ogres, onions have layers, ogres have layers. I didn't really understand why he mentioned about onions suddenly. Later I found that, we all have layers too. You don't have to be an ogre to have layers. We all have layers. One more thing. Well, this one applies to you as a designer. It also applies to your designs too, because you are not what you eat. You are what you design. So this is designer and design in terms of the layers. The first layer, this is skin. You are seeing a very handsome person on the stage. That's my skin. That actually shows you who I am. Okay. And also the skin protects myself as well. So that's a really important layer. Second layer would be skeleton. If I have a skin but no skeleton, I cannot really move. Now I can move because I have skeleton, okay? So at this point, you may wonder, if you are human, you have a skin and layer where you have some fat in between, but then you are a human, no? Well, I don't think so. What happens if you just have skin and skeleton? You are a zombie, right? So you got to have something called like a soul, okay? You are what you are because you have different soul. If you have same soul, you are a clone or zombie or something. So designer, you should be concerned about how it looks and how it works and what it means, okay? Then you'll be a really great designer. So my last slide here is that about designers according to their organs. Well, we all need all organs we have, but I'm going to show you 3 organs that we all need, designer or non-designer. First one is your head or brain. It is actually very important that when I was young, we used to live in a house where we have arenmok and wonmok. Arenmok is like where we have this heater, so it's kind of really warm and nice and cozy. Wonmok usually is kind of cold. But my mom or your mom must have said, you put your foot to the arenmok, put your head wonmok. I didn't understand why, but if you put your head on arenmok, next morning you have a really big headache because you want to keep your foot warm, head cool. So you need to keep your head really cool. Your mom is correct. So What does your brain do? Well, you should see people as user. To me, you guys are audience. To you, I am a speaker because I'm talking. You are listening. Although you are human, although I'm awesome human, I'm just a speaker at the moment. You don't have to understand where I am from, what I'm thinking. You just listen to my lecture. That's it. So it's about function. If I am a doctor or physician, I shouldn't see my patient as a human. Is it just a patient? So I can cut and do something that patient needs. If you have a cool brain, okay, you got to have your heart really warm. Okay? You got to really love people. It is not user. I'm not a speaker. I'm a human. You guys are not audience. You guys are people too. So good doctors will do all kinds of medical treatment. Really good doctors will try to know who the patient is, where he is from, or what he likes, so that you can give much better, different care. So designers and non-designers, because we are all designers, we should have cool brain and warm heart. If you don't love people, if you don't love your people that is going to use your product, please give up designing anything. So my question for you, if you have cool brain and warm heart, what do you need? What will be your third most important organ? I can give you a hint. Just previous presenter mentioned about it. I was surprised. What is it? You may say fingers. Yeah, sure. You may say eyes. Sure, very important. Gut. Awesome. Gut. Okay. So understand people, understand your customers, but do not give what they want. My philosophy as a designer, do not want my client is wanting. If I do it, then they know that I'm going to give the same thing to them. So my philosophy is to give something different. You guys should be a designer, not just a person who can design. I see that Matt is an awesome guitarist, but he's a doctor. Okay? If I learn how to play guitar, can I be a guitarist tonight? I can't. But I may be someone who can play guitar, but I'm not a guitarist. You may become a person who can design, but I want you to become a designer. If you become a mayor, I want you to be a designer of the city. That might be a really different story here. So my philosophy, don't give what they want. Give them what you think they should have. Then you'll be an awesome designer. So that's my quick summary of my thoughts of my design and designers. And if you ever wanted to talk to me, I'm really good at emailing, so you'll probably get my answer before you even hit send button. Thank you so much. Thank you.